Brandon Groce. And we are the Game Changers. Designers, creatives alike. We are in a world that runs on value. Our next designs will be the shiniest. Our next animation will be the most buttery. Ladies and gentlemen, Game Changers, let the games begin. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to episode 2 of Hottest in Design. We have an amazing guest, Rebecca Ferguson, aka Fergie. We will be introducing her to the stage in just a moment. We have some house cleaning items. Before we get into that, I want to say hey to everybody in the chat. We have the Maid channel, we have Shubham, Megan, we have Excellence, what's going on, Manuel, we have Rosella, what's going on, Christina, Brandon, how are you? What's going on? Oh, Maid, hey, what's going on, Julia? Guys, ladies and gentlemen, we have an amazing topic for today. It is how to build a native app utilizing Adobe XD and Bravo Studio's plugin, all in our favorite application in one place. Fergie's gonna bring to us how exactly she did this amazing thing from end to end, and you guys get to join in on the experience, ask questions, watch how she does what she does from Adobe XD to Bravo, and ask questions along the way. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, this amazing production is brought to you by Adobe XD. With that said, this production is only able to be done with the help of XD. And if you guys want more of this, make sure to check out the third link down in the description and fill out the survey that we have to say, yes, this amazing session really helped me understand what the capabilities of XD and Bravo are. It helps tremendously help us bring more things of this nature to you guys every week. So with that said, let us bring to the stage Fergie in just a moment, but actually there's a few more house cleaning items. For those of you who entered into our challenge this week, we will be reviewing who our first, second, and third place winners are at the end of this production, and we'll get into that a little bit after this. So in addition to this week's challenge. All right, without any further ado, let's join Fergie on the stage. Fergie, how you doing?
Hey! How you doing?
I'm doing excellent. Yeah, I can't wait. So, all right, there's people in the chat that know you, but for people who don't, who are you? What are we doing today? And anything else you want to kind of give tidbits on for what we're going to get into?
Sure. Okay, so hello to everybody who knows me. I really appreciate you showing up. Because I'm really, really excited, if you cannot tell already, to show you guys how you can make an app with Adobe XD and Bravo Studios with absolute no code whatsoever. If you don't know me, hi, I am Fergie and I'm a UX and product designer based over in London, and I have been in the UX world for about 10 years now. I'm also an Adobe XD ambassador, and I have been using it since day dot, when it used to be called Project Comet. So yeah, I am here to share all of my tips, tricks, secrets, so that you can also create your own app.
All right, cool. Now for clarity, for some people might be in the audience, might be like, all right, cool, I know how to make a mobile app, but what is the difference that Bravo brings to the table today? Like, let's package that really quickly before we dive into everything.
Sure. So Bravo is basically a mobile app platform that takes your design in XD and converts it into a native mobile app. So you really don't have to do any of the code. So normally as a designer, you need to work with a developer who is going to, use, depending on whether it's iOS or Android, the relevant coding language to then build out the application you've designed. With using XD and Bravo, we don't need a developer. We can do this ourselves. We don't need to write a single line of code. We just need to attach some really clever little tags into our Adobe XD document. So it's a real game changer that you can design and launch your own app just as an individual.
That's the beautifulness that we wanted to hear. We can take control of our destiny and what we want to build as designers. So without any further ado, let's get into the screen work and let's get jiggy, guys. All right, over to you, Fergie. Let's see what we got. Where are we starting first?
Awesome. So for anyone who hasn't used Bravo before, you can head over to bravostudio.app and get the lowdown on, if you want to read any more about what it is and how it works. and create a free account. That's the main thing you need from there. And inside of XD, you just need to make sure you get the plugin. So let me give you a little bit of a demo or preview even, of what we're going to create today. So you can see I have just a few simple screens, just 4 screens. And with this, we're going to create a full application. And you might be thinking, well, Fergie, I think you're missing a few things because there's not a lot on the screens here. But this is because we are connecting where we want our data or elements to show up to an API. Now, this is basically going to pull content like our images, the names of our little fishies, some videos. I'm so excited to show you guys how to input a video into your prototypes and into your apps. It pulls this all from essentially a database that I've already created, but we'll go through that as well. So don't worry, I'm not going to be missing out any of the steps. We're going to go through all of it. And Brandon, I can just flick through it on my phone if that's all hooked up.
Yeah, let's do it.
To show them how it works. So to get your app onto your phone in preview mode before you launch it to the relevant app store, you can use Bravo Vision. And you'll see here, I'm just going to be swiping through my onboarding experience. I can click on my Get Started button. And you can see I already have a few, as I'm calling, sea creatures logged on for this. But you can see in the XD document, I only had 1. And this is where the API connections come in. And hopefully, all I need to do is select one of these, and maybe I didn't put that video in the database. Let's go back. Trusty sea turtle, are you there? No. Okay, so this is because
the sea turtle's shy, guys.
With you guys. He's taking a nap. He's been swimming around all day.
And even, ladies and gentlemen, the point of today, we're showing you guys the capabilities. The things that we will be doing today, we're going to be running through with you guys how to do this stuff. We've put together very simple examples. Fergie was nice enough to build this out overnight. And we're going to show you, even if the stuff that isn't necessarily working here maybe got out of whack maybe 2 minutes into the stream, but we will show you how to do this from end to end to have everything there during the stream. So have no fear.
Yes. So it will all be working. And another part of Bravo, I mean, there's so many things within Bravo that lets us, it's obviously creating your app for real. So it's not that you have to smoke and mirrors prototype what all the different interactions look like. Tapping on here, which is going to bring up my keyboard, I'm just going to type fish, and it's already looking at the content of the screen to narrow down those results for me. If I type star, it's only going to show me my starfish. This is something that you can't do with a prototype. So even if you're not fully launching an app into the App Store, this is just an amazing way of being able to really test and preview what your apps are really going to look like once they're built. So I think we can go over to XD and I'll show you exactly how I've built these screens.
All right, let's play. I'm ready. I'm excited, guys.
Awesome.
If you are ready, hit that like button, and also remember, the amazingness that Fergie does extends beyond what we're going to show you today. If you haven't followed her already on other channels, just make sure to come back. Her links are in the description.
Awesome. So I am firstly going to show you how I created my little onboarding. Now, it's something that I had created in XD prior to starting to use Bravo, and I had used Auto Animate to go between certain screens. But just to give you an idea of what is on here, I have everything within, this kind of one group, or panel, or however you might want to call it. And before, I was just using Auto Animate to go from one screen to the next, and it all swims across. Very lovely. And we can get a very similar effect in Bravo. So the first thing I want to show you all is Bravo tags. Where has my Bravo tags browser window gone? 1 second. Here we go. So once you have got an account and you've logged in and you're on your dashboard, there's a lot of things to help you get started. So there's a lot of help and setup guides here. And now you can see I've got a list of a few projects that I have been working on. There are also some sample projects that help you get to grips with just exactly how you can convert your design into that native app. But this is the thing that we cannot live without, and that is the Bravo master tag list. So I have that open here, and what this looks like is a huge Notion document. And it's basically full of every single tag that we need. Let me explain the tags. So the tags are something that we need to add to either a layer name or an artboard name, depending on what it is that we are creating. And that tag is basically what Bravo will read from the XD document to then know how to translate that into a mobile app component, action, animation, all sorts of things. You know, the same with our app icons, you know, because I have an artboard and I put a logo on it and I called it app asset icon, it knows to use this as the app icon. So when you launch your app has an icon, right? From your phone screen, you can see, cool, that's an icon. There's nothing complicated about it. It's actually made it super simple. Okay, you can see here there's quite a lot of different categories of tags, but for this onboarding section, what I was using is a slider. So I can just open this one up here.
I actually have a question because
yeah, go on.
As we're going through this, you opened up one container. I was like, overload. So in the beginning, because I know we're talking about this and I know some of the other people in the chat might be like, what just happened? She did one drop down and there was 20 million things. So when you were doing these projects, we all saw that you had about 7. But during your first one, and I know Bravo does a really good job at explaining, giving you projects in training wheels essentially to get through this. For those who are interested in using Bravo, did you have to go through all of these, or were you like, I'm just going to learn this section? How did you go about learning all these things? Because there's a lot here, and I'm assuming with all the projects you've done, you might have stuck with maybe a few of these tags, or how did you go about it?
Yeah, so I have by no means used everything. I am still on my journey of obviously learning what all of these tags are. But the more common ones are actually in some of the sample files. So let me just see. There are, it might be under resources here. So you can download some XD files. Where is it? It's on here somewhere. I can put a link out into Discord later or something. But there is basically some sample XD files, and you can sort of look through those, which is how I started. Are they here maybe? Let me see. Because I want to make sure. Yeah, here we go.
There we are.
So if you just go to integration and then Adobe XD plugin, you can download the plugin from here, or you can do it the normal way, just through the plugins panel. So you can hit the plus button, search for it, install it, and then you'll see it comes up here. But you can download these sample files, and there's one for sliders, which is those, you know, carousels that we're all very used to using, right, and a few others. So I was kind of looking around these to get an idea of exactly how it works. So downloaded the file, was playing around with it, looking at what tags were where, comparing that to that master tag list to kind of teach myself, and also then previewing it with Bravo Vision on my phone. Everything then starts to, you know, the cogs start to turn in your head a bit better. So I could open one of them if that helps. Bravo sample. And their samples are, you know, easier to understand. So they've kept their designs quite simple.
Oh, they even have nice little notes in there too.
Yeah, they're really, really nicely annotated. So this is the example of, being able to have an app icon. You just rename the artboard to include this Bravo tag. Let me zoom in here so you can maybe see. But basically the tags are inside of square brackets, and that's what Bravo looks for. You can do things like a splash screen. We could create a loading screen and use a Lottie animation, So yeah, that's kind of the first thing I looked at was, let me look at one of their demo apps, one of their samples, and almost reverse engineer my own thing.
Got it.
So, yeah, they have a few different ones, so it's it's worth playing around with all of them because they each show you something different that you can then combine everything into your own app if that's what you're looking for.
Alrighty. Okay, cool. So I get it. So essentially, everything that we build in XD must use the technology of these brackets to basically allow Bravo to be like, oh, this is what this is what that is, and it coincides with how we put together the application.
Exactly. So
Perfect.
Everything that we create in XD has to have a Bravo tag.
Excellent. All right, that makes a lot more sense. Guys, if that makes a lot more sense to you, first off, thank Fergie. That was an excellent explanation. We're ready. We're ready.
Yeah. Okay. So I could break this down a little bit more. Let's go to my layers panel. And you can create any kind of, onboarding horizontal panoramic sort of image that you might want. So I had used a illustration, and if I just break this down, so let me ungroup everything. Yeah, so you'll see these are kind of the different sections that I have. And how this started off was just as a huge image, and I just sort of sliced it into a section. But you could put in, I don't know, a vector illustration you've worked on in Illustrator. We can take a photo from online or from anywhere, and you just kind of put together what you want that to look like. And I have here, my background, which is my illustration and my little kind of blue wave.
Yeah.
And then I just have some text that I've put on top. And as a separate layer, I have my little diver guy. So those are basically all the different layers that I have in XD. And you'll notice that, well, hang on, I've just told you about tags, but none of these have tags. And this is because there's kind of a hierarchy of how we can do this. So because this is going to be like a carousel, but we're kind of faking it, right? We're making it look like it's one thing that we're dragging in between, but you just kind of do that by having them into these slides. So imagine it like a presentation: 1, 2, 3, slide 1, 2, 3. So they're all grouped into my slides. And you just put them up kind of all next to each other. So I have all of those. And then we need to select all of them and put them in a group. And then this is where our Bravo tag is going to go for this container. So I'll go back to this list. And if anybody gets stuck, if I'm going too fast, put it in the chat. Brandon can tell me like, whoa. I could totally do it slow if it's, if I'm going too fast.
Yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to drop in the chat. We will definitely make sure that those things are addressed. And because we're going over a lot of, if you guys are new to XD and this is a whole nother new thing for you, you guys are in a good spot. But if you have questions, drop in the chat and we'll definitely address them.
Cool. So because I know I'm looking for a slider, which is, what those kind of carousels are called with the Bravo language, I'm just going to open this section here of sliders. I know it's a lot, bear with, because there's obviously a lot of descriptions here. So we can read down this column to see, okay, what exactly is this? But better yet, there's also little tutorials. So I can just click on that link, and now here there's a beautiful little GIF animation that shows me what this tag is going to look like if I apply it to the content. So we're looking for this horizontal slider, right? And it will tell us there's different animation effects that we could also add to it. So there's all kinds of things. So you can see all the previews of those here. So there's a lot of fancy things that you can do that, you know.
I want that cube
you
one.
do manually. That's cool, right?
Yeah, that's really awesome.
And there's just so many to choose from and to play with. It's, you know, this is what's going to give you that professional level quality and look and feel to your app. It's not just that it's going to, you know, give you a basic something. They've really gone that extra mile to make sure that they're allowing us to create something with such a high polish. So that's how you can see a demo. So when you're looking at this, and if you're just, you know, overwhelmed by it, always click on the little see tutorial link here, and that will take you to those sorts of pages that just visually shows you, because I know it's not always easy to read a description and picture that. We might all picture it 10 different ways, right? Even though we're reading the same thing. So always look at those. So the one that we want is actually just the container slider horizontal. Now, the reason that the tags might be a little bit longer is because essentially everything has to be a type of container. So if you're really confused and you don't know what Bravo tag you need to use, the absolute minimum thing you should use is just the word container inside those square brackets. And that will at least display what you're trying to display on the screen. And then you can trial and error kind of go through the different styles or different animations that you might be looking for.
Got it.
Cool. So I'm just going to copy and paste that. It's my group name, so that's an important thing. It says second level container, so that's the group layer's name. And then I'll just show you, if you were to do a menu, which we'll move on to next, you'll see where to put the tag. It says top level app page. Now in XD language, that means this needs to go in your artboard name. So that's the only two places that the Bravo tags go. It's either in the artboard name or it's in the layer or the group name. So we have done that. And I am just going to pull that onto the artboard that I have ready. And
Very nice.
It's all grouped together, the slides, so it knows to go between all of them. And that's how we created, if I just reboot my Bravo prototype. That's how we created that scroll effect. So when I'm on my phone, I can just swipe through those screens.
Should we switch to the phone?
Yeah, sure.
All right, let's see.
Might help.
All right, let's take a look.
Yeah, so those three things we've just put together. And I'm literally just swiping my finger across the screen.
Oh, sweet. And wait, that's the thing we just built. That's awesome. All right, cool. See, guys, the result, it started up, I was like, all right, when is the build? Because I was like, man, there's going to be we have a lot of strong upfront needing to do. And then I was like, what does the build look like? But as we can see, it's instantaneous. Like it seems like the challenging, really where the work comes in is understanding what you want to build in this skeletal structure that we need to pull from Bravo, and really understanding, okay, I have this vision in mind, this is what I want to build, what are the actual tags that I need to use to be able to make this vision come to life? That's essentially what it is.
Yeah, it's basically just learning the language and learning the Bravo tags. Basically,
Yeah.
if you can understand how to use which Bravo tag and when, you're laughing. You're like that. You're going to build apps in a day. You know, if you've already got a design that you've created, it would take no time at all to, you know, build it into an actual app. You know, I've created some before where I've literally created them from a blank XD document to, for example, I made an app for the UX book club that I'm running. That took me 12 hours from a blank document to having an app designed that I'm, you know, kind of ready to publish to the app stores.
Yeah,
It's
that was
really-
actually
yeah.
pretty insane. I remember you were like, yeah, guys, in our Discord, you were like, I'm going to go ahead, I just learned about Bravo, we're going to go ahead and do it. And like next day, you were like, and look what I made. It was pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just, you know, it's really not complicated. So, because I'd already synced my project, if you know, are doing this, all you need to do is go to our plugin and go to Bravo Studio. When you first are doing this, it will ask you to log in. So you do that through the browser, come back, you get this nice little panel. And because it knows I already have a project I'm syncing to, you know, I just click update. Or if we want to create a new one, so let's do Game Changers Web Club. And I just click create. And you're going to see just how quickly this creates and sets up the project for us. It takes seconds, literally. Done, success. We're ready to go. So to swap projects, all I have to do with my phone is just do a long tap, and it will give me a little pop-up menu saying, do I want to update or do I want to exit? So because I've just created essentially a new project, I am going to exit to go back to my main screen with all my projects, and then just open this one I'm looking at, and it's all there. You know, it's just straight away. There's no kind of lag, there's no waiting for anything. It's pretty instantaneous.
So we do have questions, and I'm curious about this too. So how does it, and I know there's probably a lot that we have to still dive into today, but how does it go from, because I think you, even with the book club, I think you submitted it to the App Store, or one of your projects you've done so far. And you probably, with all of them, there's only one that I know of. We have questions in the chat. How, when you are finished with your project using Bravo, where does it go? Like, how do you submit this thing to the App Store? Is that something that we are going to get into and we should hold off till then, or what do you have to say on that?
I can talk about it now. I don't think I'm going to send this one to the App Store. So basically, when you have your project and you go into it, this is what it looks like. So because I've just, you know, created, you synced, you update and everything. This was my book club app that I created. This is where you have all your screens, you connect all your API data, and then you just go through the processes here. So if it's iOS or Android, you know, Bravo does a really good job of helping you through that process. So there's a few things that you have to get to go onto the iOS App Store, certain certificates and things like that. That there's a guide here. If I just open this, there's a guide here on exactly how to do it. You know, Bravo, they're really like hand-holding us through this whole process. So you can just watch the video on how to do this. They show you the steps that you need to go through. So it's, you know, they've made it really accessible. So you just
awesome.
Complete the steps and go.
It's that easy, guys. Like, I didn't even know about this portion. Like, I was just learning the tags, and I was like, opened one thing, and I was like, that is a lot of reading. And we're still working through it. But I actually didn't even know about this portion where the whole experience is completed in Bravo. You don't have to leave Bravo to do anything, which is really nice.
Yeah, so you can also control notifications. So, for example, with my UX library, if I want to send everybody a notification saying like, hey, we're going to jump on our reading lounge call this week in 10 minutes, I could just send that, and that goes to them as a notification through the app. You know, it saves me putting it out on every single social media and in our Discord chat and everywhere, you know? So they've really done so much for us.
Wow.
And then there's some settings as well. So if you wanted to create an app that has user accounts, there's Firebase for the authentication. I haven't done that personally. I've not had a use for that yet with my side hustle project. So, but yeah, I'm excited to try that out at some point.
That's actually really crazy. I didn't know it went that deep. I was just like, I knew the front end side of it, but there's an actual, this is like a democratization of being able to build literally your own apps. You just have to learn Bravo, know the certain particular, what are the guidelines for iOS, Android, and you can figure out what type, like even with push notifications, like that's excellent. All right, let's continue. Let's journey on. Because I'm learning with you guys. So I'm excited.
Mm-hmm. So you can see we just created that new app from inside of XD, and we called it the Game Changers Dive Club. So you can see I have a new project tile here, and all of my screens from XD will just load up here. But I'm going to show you how to create all of these. So we've just done the onboarding screen, and now we're going to do a menu. So I'm just going to delete that. Okay, so you can see sort of what I've done before, but I'm going to now show you exactly how we do that. So we need a menu. Now there are a lot of, again, different styles of menu. You might want to have a menu that slides in from the side. You might want to have a navigation bar at the bottom of the screen. You might want to have a full screen overlay kind of menu, and you can do all of them. You just need the right tag. So I'm going to start by giving a new artboard. And you can also name your artboards however you want. So, this is my slide-in menu. Bravo's not looking at that. There's no square brackets. Bravo doesn't care. It's not going to break anything. So,
sweet.
As Brandon knows, I am team name your layers, and I can continue to do so.
By the way, speaking of name your layers, if you guys are interested, in those of you who are watching, Fergie was nice enough to actually lend us the project that she's working on now. She offered up to us to actually download. It is the third link or fourth link down in the description. It's probably the third one in the description. Download it and follow along if you guys are at your computer.
Yeah, go for it. So I included those onboarding screens. It's not got the same illustrations as mine because of licensing laws, but I've put a free one in there for you guys anyway, and a little annotations. So if you want to come back to this later, you can totally do that. Alrighty, we're going to do a slide-in menu, and the first thing I'm going to do here is just turn off my background. You don't have to, it's just my personal preference, so that I can see, how wide I'm going to make this menu panel. So it's going to slide in over all of my content, and I'm just using, the regular tools for this. So design as you would normally design in XD. And what am I going to put here? I'm going to put a few items. Definitely not in bright pink. Let's turn off the border and give this our blue color. Okay, so I'm basically just...
Go ahead.
I was saying I'm just going to make a few items here, so...
All right, cool. While you're putting those items together, for those of you who are watching on Instagram, because I see a couple of you, come on over to YouTube so you can join the chat. That is where the fam is talking, and we're having conversations and asking questions. Come on over. There's a link in my bio. Go to YouTube, come join us, and join the Game Changers fam, and just join the conversation.
I'm going to use everybody's favorite plugin for icons.
Actually, while we're putting that together, I'm not sure if you can split your brain like this, but we're going to try.
So,
There are some questions about payment gateways for Bravo. Have you seen anything
you know what I'm
like
going to
that?
do? I'm going to go to my list. And so my thing that I do if I really don't know or I'm looking for something, they tell you this little shortcut here, and this is just a Notion thing. So if I do Command, Alt, and T, it's going to open all of these things. So I can now do a Command F to like search for a keyword. So yeah, I can search for payment, for example. I don't think there is a pay thing. So I mean, I haven't come across that yet.
Maybe in the future, ladies and gentlemen.
Could well be in the future. I mean, they're still creating new things and updating all the time. So it's not that what is here, like, that's it. They have a lot of extra things that they are working on in the background. And I know this because I've been chatting to them.
And they also, if you guys are actually really digging Bravo, they do have a public, it's a big word. What is the word, Fergie? They basically are showing what is on their back burner and what they're working on. I don't know the technical term.
Backlog.
But the backlog, there we go. They have a public backlog on their website if you guys are interested in what they're working on.
Alright, so I'm just putting stuff together like you would normally. And then I'll show you how we Bravoize it.
Let's do it. While you're doing that, Kara says, this is super amazing. I didn't realize that the Bravo plugin was for XD. Thanks for that. You have Fergie to thank for that. Sharina says, Bravo is absolutely Bravo. And then UI Designer says, hey, ask about the database creating and staff, please. We will get into that a little bit later. I think Fergie has some of those things that we're going to dive into. So I just wanted to let you know that we will be diving into that really quick. Really, what we are trying to show you guys is that everything that you do in Adobe XD stays the same. The only difference that you are adding to these so far, from my understanding as learning from this too and looking into it myself, is you're just using Adobe XD plus Bravo's tags to have each software really talk to each other. And we'll talk about the database stuff in a little bit later, but for now, we're dealing with the tags, and then when we move on, we shall move on. But great questions, guys.
Yes, and I do have a nice little database ready to show you, and I'll show you exactly how I put it together as well. So I have like a super basic menu here. I'm a fan of aligning things towards the bottom of the screen because obviously there's a certain reach that we all have with our thumbs when we're using our phone. So this is just something I'm kind of playing with. Now all I have to do is, again, just highlight everything on my artboard. I'm going to put it into a group, so just Command G. And now I need to put my tag. So we know that it needs to be at least a container. We can go back to our Bravo list and we can look at menus. And we know we want it to be a slide menu, so we're going to borrow this tag here, menu : slide. And it's going to tell us to put this at the top level app page, so this needs to go on our artboard name. So I can just rename the artboard, add that tag on the end. And just like that, that will now be a Bravo menu.
Perfect.
But we need to have some screens to navigate to and from. So, oops, okay. I'm gonna show you guys how we can create essentially this is my creatures catalog. So that when I go scuba diving, I can save my photo or my video kind of thing. So this is just, I don't know, it's all very hypothetical. It's all very, there's a story. So I'm going to have this linked to a database. but I want to be able to maybe search or find or filter if I'm looking for a particular creature that I've seen and I want to show that video to my friend. Like, yeah, this is like my personal diving diary kind of thing. That's kind of the concept behind this app. So we're going to start off with another artboard. And the reason I'm using the Google Pixel 5 is because I have an Android phone. So for me, that is what works best. Now, obviously, when you're wanting to publish something online, especially for Android, more so than iOS, the phone screen sizes are like so many different, there's so many different ones. So something that I don't have it open, let me just find it quickly. Something that I found from doing a search with all the tags is a way that our designs are going to display correctly no matter what size phone somebody is using, which we all know is super important because, you know, responsive design. So you can see here under containers, there's something called aspect ratio relative to screen. So this is basically going to mean that the height of the container is calculated based on the screen height. So everything is just going to fit really nicely, especially if you're using, you know, the regular kind of 9:16 screen ratio, then it's all going to be beautiful. So we're going to borrow that tag, and we know that this needs to go second double, so it's going to go on the container. So for example, with our menu slide in here, we can use it there, and we can just set it aspect ratio. So you can see here I've got two tags. So I've told it it's a container, but I'm also telling it to do the aspect ratio resizing.
Got it.
Alright, so this is going to be our log screen. And I'm just going to create like a kind of header that we can place things inside of. How are we doing for time?
We are only 40 minutes in.
40 minutes in. There's so much to show still.
We do? I was like, to me, we still have 15 minutes in an hour, right?
Yeah, we said an hour and a half, right?
Yeah. Oh, wait.
Yeah, so we're good.
Yeah, we have 45 more minutes then.
Okay, I was thinking 15 minutes. I've been talking way too much.
No, I think we're good. Like, so far we've done, like, the tags make sense. I think the only other piece that I think collectively the audience and even me trying to put stuff together is the database that we're going to get into.
Yeah, so let me do, this is not going to be my most beautiful design, guys. Don't judge me, but let me just get it done so I can show you exactly how you can link everything to a database. Okay, I am going to put a text box up here. And I'm just going to put a few spaces in there. So we're not going to see anything written, but that is because that's just going to be where I type in my little search keyword. So I'm just going to align all these things. I'm going to go back and get search icon. Use that one. I feel like we need a playlist party with your music. It's always like so. It's always such a vibe. I'm always like da 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 da.
It's the same music every time, and it just gets better.
So good. Okay, so search and filter. I have this one up and ready to show everybody. So I want to create this search bar, and it's a search bar that actually works, obviously, because everything in Bravo is real. It's not smoke and mirrors like we're used to with prototypes. So it's going to tell us that we just need to put a text box in, and that's going to be where we search and enter our little keywords from. And I'm just going to go here to get our tag. So it's component input dash text, and then there's another action filter. So we have 2 tag types in here, and it's just showing us the 2 that we need to put together. And this, they've kind of called it out here. It's only going to search and filter what's within that page. It's not going to search like your entire app. So for the moment, this is all like kind of local search and filter. So I'm going to click on my text layer. And I'm going to
once it's explained, it makes so much more sense. At first, and I would love to know what you guys think in the audience. At first, when Fergie hit that drop control option, whatever she hit, I was like, oh! There was a lot of things. But now, when she's showing us the workflow where it's just like, this is what we want to look for. Let's go throughout the list of the tags. Oh, there we go. We need to actually create an input field. So we're going to grab input text, and it's also going to be a filter. So we're going to go ahead and just grab those 2 tags. It's making a little bit more sense. So Raul, I see your question. We're gonna touch on that in a little bit.
All right, so now I want to create this as my top bar. So again, let's go grab the tag for that. And I'm going to close everything because I can't. That's overwhelming. I can't do that. I'm going to open our top bar section here. And again, you can read through which type you want to have. So it could be that it hides on the scroll. So when you're scrolling, it will disappear and it's going to reappear when we scroll back down. There's one that will remain until you scroll up to the top again. There's, they've got all the different behaviors that you would expect of a top bar. So we're going to use, I think I want the hide scroll. I just scroll up and maybe scroll down. That's the one I want. So I'm going to copy paste that. And once you start using this a lot more, you kind of start to remember them. Which I know sounds crazy, but you do. And now this is where we're going to get into creating our little catalog of creatures. So I'm just going to create a little square here, or rectangle. Name is going to go there. It would help if my text wasn't white. There we go. And that can be about So you can really play around with this how you want. Something to bear in mind with text that I kind of had to work out through my own mistakes is that the character spacing that you would use here in XD to like put a bit of space between all the characters, it works within the software very differently to how that would work online. So my top tip and piece of advice would be to make sure that's always set to 0. Otherwise you're literally going to have 10 pixels, 20 pixels, however many, in between each character of your word, and it's just going to stretch and just look completely wrong. So that's top tip.
Top tip in the audience, we have a question. Kyle says, by the way, thank you so much for this workflow. And he can't wait to watch the rest of the stream. He'll be jumping on a little bit. Megan Kelly says, question, is there an app in the App Store that has been made with XD and Bravo you could suggest we look at so we can see the finished product? Just curious to try one. Do you have a product of yours that you would recommend, or a particular, I know Bravo has like suggested products on their site, I think, right? But what would you recommend?
They have a few on their site. They also, if you head over to their YouTube channel, they actually had an interview with somebody who's launched 5 different apps using only Bravo. So I would say go and check out everything that she's created, because I thought it was really cool and really interesting. And then, yeah, mine will be out there soon. Just going through a few things with it to make sure it is the best that the book club needs.
Got it. I just linked to you guys in the chat so you guys can see the hashtag made with Bravo. So you guys can peep into that. And also, we will keep you up to date if you haven't already been following along in Fergie's journey in this whole just mastering Bravo.
Yes, it is something that I also do on my streams. So I stream over on Behance on the weekends on a Sunday, kind of afternoon UK time. So if anyone's interested, be sure to follow and get notifications from me over there.
Links down in the descriptions, ladies and gentlemen. You do not want to miss out on Fergie's content, either on Instagram, YouTube, or Behance. Check her out.
All right, I'm just going to drop in a sample image here because the content type in our design, when we're doing the whole pulling from API, needs to be the same. So if I was to leave that as just a shape layer, but tell Bravo to put an image there, it won't put the image there because they're two different kind of obviously types of elements. So this is just a placeholder that will be replaced with whatever I pull from the database. And you'll see I've put this rectangle kind of around it. So you can imagine if this were a repeat grid, when I get all the data from the API, it's going to look like a little something like this, without the space in between. And this is because, let me just undo that. So this is because for the containers, we need to tell Bravo the size to make the container. And the way to do that is just draw a rectangle, name it area. It doesn't need to have any brackets or anything like that. And you can turn off the full color, you can turn off the border, unless you want to keep it. And I'm just going to group all of those things. And this is just going to be a basic container. And just like that, that's one of our kind of grid list items. And we have our search bar. So that screen's almost done. We're just going to add a quick menu button. And you could add this to the top navigation. You can really do whatever you like. Like I said, I'm sort of playing with the idea of things being in that sort of reach zone. So we're not forever like stretching our thumbs and making our hands ache all the time.
That's definitely me, like especially in the morning. I'm basically inducing carpal tunnel. I'm like with literally my hand, like with my phone in the morning is like this, trying to hit the menu. So you're saving us. I'm holding the bottom of my phone with my pinky and just like trying to hit the menu bar.
And not to drop it on your face as well, right? It's
a
whole thing. Okay, so I'm going to do a similar thing. I've just pulled this area, this rectangle area, and I have my button shape here. So I'm going to do a floating action button. And I'm just going to grab a menu icon from here. In fact, I can just draw it myself because it is just a burger menu. Dun, 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 dun.
By the way, those who are on Instagram or just in general, if you're curious, if where this live stream is going, it's going to stay live, as well as we're going to repurpose this for both IGTV and we're going to on a shorter version, and we're also going to be cutting this down as well for YouTube for those of you guys who are native lovers of either platform. With same thing for Igor's piece last week. We've been super busy with 21 and 5 like spinning plates, as well as trying to start this new series. So we're a little backlogged, but Igor's piece should be coming to IGTV by next week at the latest on Monday. We're trying to get everything out in a timely manner. However, the one thing that is going to be released today is on social media are the winners of this week's challenge. More on that after this stream, but I'm super excited if you guys aren't part of our Game Changers community Discord, go link in the description. It's the last link in the description, and just join the fam. If you guys aren't already there, we have amazing individuals from all over the world producing, teaching, and just giving feedback and showing love to other designers that also love doing what they're doing. So if you haven't done those things already, on top of following Fergie, I highly, truly recommend that you do those things.
Amazing. So I've just added in that little floating menu button, and the tag I've given it is layer. And layer is a cool one to remember because this is something that is going to be in a fixed position on the screen. So it's something that I want it just to stay in that bottom right hand corner, even if I'm scrolling up, down, left, right. So that's what layer does. It makes it a kind of sticky element. So we have our few screens, and then I'm going to create one that I personally am excited about, which is going to display a video of one of our creatures. So I am, for the sake of speed, just going to duplicate this artboard, and I'm going to call it creature info. I'm going to remove my search bar because I don't want to search from here. I am going to add the name of this creature into the header. Make that kind of a large font.
I'm assuming this is where we start getting into the database stuff.
Yeah, so once I sync this, that is exactly what we're going to do.
Guys, I'm like clairvoyancy or something.
Like you knew what I was going to do today. Oh.
Exactly.
Alright, so I'm going to do a quick back button. Go to my layers. I want my back button to go inside the top bar. Something like that. So we already knew it was going to be a top bar. You know, why give yourself the work of doing things so many times? Just duplicate them. But only duplicate them if you know, otherwise do it from scratch. I've been doing it for a while, so that's why I can work that way. And get rid of that. Get rid of that. We're going to add a rectangle that our video is going to play on.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just going to double check this one for the size.
We're going to have a starfish flying through the water. Essentially, starfish are Alright, this is what is really interesting. Do starfish think that they can fly because they're in the water and they don't really know that they're in the water? Or maybe they do. I don't know. Questions of the universe, guys. If you guys have answer to that question, let us know in the chat. Because, like, listen, if we're out in air, right, and we're walking around and we can jump. Like, jumping is like a 3rd degree or 30th degree of flying, essentially, just temporarily. So, I don't know. Food for thought.
I don't even really know how starfish like swim or spin or crawl or I don't really know.
Oh, I thought we were going to learn that in this video.
You'll see a video of it moving. I don't know how you name that.
Sea turtles can fly then. They're just in water. There we go. Maybe it applies to them.
Alright. I'm going to call this area for our container. So here I've just got a plain rectangle, which is what the video is going to go inside of. I've gotten a text description, and I've given it the tag flexo, which just means it's a flexible text box. So instead of content being cut off, it will just like expand and allow it to keep running.
Got it.
And if you weren't using an API, you can also still insert a video. I'm just clicking this letter to show you all.
Oh, so that little line, because I was like, why didn't she put the entire thing of Lorem Ipsum? And I was like, you're just going to import data from somewhere else and it's going to show up there. Got it.
Oh yeah, we're doing things the easy way around.
Got it.
So
I was like, does
both
not
ways.
compute. Got it. All right, I'm excited.
Yeah, so you can create something with all your content in, and that's cool. But if you want to link to an API, then you just put like little placeholder things in, and it's all fine. So if you want to do a video, that is a component. So again, go back to our trusty our trusty list over here. You can open up components and see everything that we can insert. Videos, GIFs, Lottie animations. We could do one of those quickly. All sorts of things, and it tells you what tag to use, where to put it, and you can see tutorials or samples. So if you wanted to just like embed a video on a screen, you would use component video. Or if you wanted to create a button that opened this YouTube tutorial video, for example, then that is an action. And you would tell it to open
really
video,
cool.
And you can give it the YouTube link. So there you go.
Guys, we're making a Game Changers mobile app for sure.
Totally sure. So needed. And then what I'll do is just copy this Lottie, and we'll do a loading screen as well in a minute. So let me just set up an artboard. Actually, no. Let's finish this one. Going all over the place. All right. I have my container. I have my top bar, and that's that screen done. So one last screen. I'm going to draw a rectangle, and we're going to find a Lottie animation really quick.
Got it. So that will be like the load spinner before the video pops up. Okay.
And whilst the app is also pulling your data from the API.
Man, see, this is what I mean, guys. Like, things are getting so much easier for designers. Like, I feel like not even like 3 years ago, like we would have to, like our what we offered to the larger team of product teams seemed limited for designers, even though we're still a large part of the whole process. But now it's like we could design the entire app and be like, you know what, tomorrow we're gonna build the thing, and then on Thursday we're gonna ship it to the app store. Like, this is what I love about the future. The future.
Yeah. So I have just downloaded the GIF from Lottie, and you can see I'm just going to throw it onto my artboard, and then the tag that you need to give it is inside our square brackets. So I always type those first to make sure I have them. Is component, my spelling, Lottie. So colon between each of these, and then you're just going to paste the JSON URL of the Lottie animation you want to use. Simple as that. We now have a Lottie animation on our screen. And this is going to be a loading screen.
Uh-oh. Fergie, where'd you go? Oh, no. All right, guys, we will be right back. Do not worry. We'll be back in just a moment. We're going to go grab Fergie, and we're going to continue with this awesomeness. Be right back. You want to be one of the hottest creative designers in the world. You want to build your talent, your skills through hard work, and more importantly, surround yourself with a team of individuals who are striving towards greatness with you. And yet you sit there and you ask yourself, Brandon, does a place like this? Of course, motherfucker, that's exactly what we are doing in our business. We are the game changers. We are designers, artists, creators that want to take our skills and dreams to the next level. We come together to give feedback, give resources in life. There's a lot of help push each other. We are if you're interested in becoming the next best, quite possibly yourself while tapping into your new design. Okay, guys, my bad.
Sorry, guys.
Everything at once. All right, we went through the internet and we caught Fergie. We brought her back. All right, thank you guys for your patience. We're back in it. All right.
Honestly, so sorry. I don't know where my laptop is. So we're putting in our little Lottie animation for our loading screen. So I just came over to the tag list so we can get our custom loading page tag. And again, this needs to go on our artboard, so we can just go straight back to XD. And I'm going to name the artboard just like that. So when it's pulling our data, instead of a spinner that would just be, custom or just whatever default one there is, we're going to get this cute little octopus swimming around instead. All right, so those are our screens. And what we need to do is pull this down here. Let me delete these ones from earlier. So you can see I've literally just got these few screens that we've created. Now we need to quickly jump into prototype mode, and next important thing is to set your home page. So what page do you want Bravo to start with? And for me, it's going to be this onboarding screen. So just hit the little house icon like you would normally. And then once we get to the get started button here, I want that to open up the creatures log screen. So you'll see now that link is going between them. Yeah, there you go. So you can see once we click here, it's going to go to this screen. We need to create the link between our menu button and our menu sliding in. So again, just select our menu button, drag and drop that onto our menu artboard, and the menu items, do the same, select them, drag and drop the little handle. Lastly, we've got our creature from the list, and if we tap on this, it's going to take us to the details page about it, and if we hit the back icon, I can select it, it's going to go back to our list of creatures. So we don't need to hook up the loading, that will be done automatically. Let's go and sync it to Bravo.
Auto-magically.
Alright, so we set up the project earlier. I'm just going to go and hit update. This literally takes seconds. It is so fast. Like, success, we're done. Just like that. And we're going to go to Bravo. So from my dashboard, I'll open up our project, which should have been GC Dive Club.
Uh-oh. Guys, looks like we're going fishing again. We're going to go grab her one more time. Thank you guys for your patience. Be right back. Thank you. You want to be one of the hottest creative designers in the world. You want to build your talent, your skills, through hard work, and more importantly, surround yourself with a team of individuals who are driving towards greatness. And yet you sit there and you ask yourself, Brandon, does a place like this exist? My answer to you would be, of course, mother, that's exactly what we are doing in our district. We are the game station. We are a designers and artists. Why take our All right, we're back. She was flying with the sea turtles. All right. she was so excited about that question. She was like, let me go see for myself. And granted, I don't blame her. I would have done the same. All right, back to you, Fergie.
Amazing. So I would just be on my dashboard here, and for some reason it's not saying that it's updated. Let me just check XD. So GC Dive Club. Let's click update. I think this is what's causing some sort of thing going on with my laptop.
Oh, and it's just It's just like, don't show everybody the hot fire that you've just made.
Okay, for some reason it's still syncing it to the old name. So here we go, folks. I am just going to make sure that we do things right. I'm going to delete them real quick, and within seconds we'll have a new one. I'm just going to call it Dive Club this time so we know. I think that is what was
what was blowing up the Zog?
It was like, under the sea, off we go.
Under the sea.
All right, here we go.
You know what? I should have had that soundboard ready for this. I am so upset at myself. I should have had that ready.
That'd be amazing. You know, you're going to see this on my socials later with that exact soundtrack.
For sure.
All right, so we made all of our artboards in XD. You can see them now here inside of our project. And you were all asking me about data. So I'm going to click on our data library tab and show you how I do this. There are a couple of ways, because in the beginning I was using spreadsheets and things like that. However, there is an integration with AirTable. So if you're not familiar with AirTable, it looks really similar to a spreadsheet, but it's all online and accessible, right? So this will generate, Airtable will give you the API connections and links that you need to, well, pull obviously all the data from. It's connected with Bravo. So this is my way of getting all my data into my apps at the moment. So, and it's really easy to do as well. You can just create a new log. So if I go to my screen here, you see I have my source library for the book club, and I created a little one here for our little creatures log. So
yeah,
I'll show you how I add data into here. Obviously you can add your own content, but because I want to add in videos and images and everything, at the moment I'm just using stock because it's already online hosted. I don't need to worry about that for demo purposes.
All right.
So let's add a shark. I'll just show you how I've gone through doing this. And I've been using Pexels because this is free stock, photos, videos, all this amazing stuff. So we have some scary shark photos here. Let's use this guy. He looks like he's about to eat us. So all I'm going to do is...
I hope he got paid.
Is right click that, and I'm going to copy the image address. Now it's quite important. So this is going to give us the full URL. So if I were to paste that in a new tab, you'd see it would just bring up just the image. And it's that URL that I am going to paste here into my column that says photos for our shark. Then I am going to change my search to be video. And there's, again, look away if you don't like sharks. There's a scary one here. Yeah, we're going to use that one. I'm going to right click that again and copy the video address. And I'll just show you in the browser, it opens up just that video because that's what we need. We just want to pull this clip into our app. But if you're doing your own content, obviously you would have this all hosted somewhere, and again there's guidance on Bravo for how to do this. So you could host it on AWS, for example. Anything that gives you a URL that has the file format on the end of it, so like the .mp3, or you could also use it to link to YouTube videos. Okay, I'm just gonna make up a little something. I'm gonna go to Wikipedia and just get a little bit of blurb about sharks. Again, if you have your own stuff, this is where you would put that in. But for demo purposes, I've got my 5 creatures. You could have more or less, whatever you want. And to set this up with Bravo, all I have to do is create a new data collection. Click on the Airtable wizard, and the wizard is going to make our lives so easy breezy. We just need to get our share link. So I go back to my Airtable, click share up here on the right corner, select base, and this is a link here that I want. Like that's it. So as long as you've said that it's shareable, you get that link. You put that link in here. It's then going to ask me for my API key, which let me do that on a different window. Security.
Which I fail all the time. Brandon, why are you showing everybody your bank account? I now have your password.
You see? So I'm going to put that in, and it's basically going to connect and do it all for me. So continue. And now, okay, full disclosure, I am obviously not a developer. I am not an extremely technical person. I can understand a fair bit of tech, but I'm not going to try and explain to you API. There are a load of videos that will do it better than me. But because we've used the wizard, it's set up and pulled the data and made all the connections for us. We don't need to do anything. So we can see here that we've got details and we've got list. So this list is my whole list here. So it's my 5 creatures. And then the detail is what we need when we're then going down a level and we click on our shark, for example, and then that's the detailed level of it. So it's a row level, whereas the list is the entire database. And you can always adjust it. So if I were to add more columns or remove something, that's totally fine. All we need to do is press the send button here, and you'll see I get this list of received data. So it's gone away to Airtable, pulled in what Airtable holds, and just look here for the column name. And if you've added them, just tick the ones that you've added, and then that's all. It's there. It does it. It's in. That's all you need to do. It's really quite.
All right, we have to break some of this down because I had it and then it was like beep beep boop beep boop boom. I can't.
Yeah. The first time, if anybody here was on my stream, it took me a good hour to understand.
All right, so let's try to break this down a little bit simple because we are the simple gang. So essentially, I'm trying to regurgitate. We need to know is how to set up the data in Airtable. And from there, we just follow directions in Bravo to make sure that data connects with our application, right? We don't need to know what it does. We just need to know that Bravo said, take your Excel spreadsheet with your data and connect it with Bravo, please, so that we know where to input it into your app. Is that kind of correct?
Yeah, that is exactly it. So you make your database in Airtable, you get that share link,
all right,
because you're putting it into the wizard, and then the wizard asks for your API key. Let me scroll like that. So basically you go to your account page. Mine's starred out right now, so security purposes. That is what you then copy and paste into the second pop-up. And then it does its thing, beep, beep, boop. And your data's there ready to use.
Okay, cool. And all this is broken down step by step by Bravo too. This isn't like you got to figure this out. This is like, great, you did your, you've done the tags. Now you're trying to import data. There's all this stuff is on the site.
Exactly. It's all. It's not. I haven't gone away and worked this out for myself. There's such detailed documentation there that you don't need to. Just follow it, and it will all work just fine.
Perfect.
All right, so we're going to go into our project and into Dive Club. Got all of our screens we've created, and we've linked them up in XD. But now we need to add the data. So the first thing is our little creatures log. So I'm going to click on this screen, and you come to the data binding screen. Now I'm going to do this slowly because I did this wrong for the first 5 times before I got it right, like when I first learned. So as long as you have already set up the data library, you can then do the data binding. You have to do it in that order. All right, so we're going to select our creatures log. So that's the one we just created. Don't mind that it's there twice, it's obviously because I've just imported it twice. And we're going to select that. Now this is our catalog style screen. So this is why I want all of the creatures to be listed. So this is where we need to select the list, the get list, right? Because there's a difference between the two. If you select detail, it's going to display the wrong stuff.
Got it.
Yeah. And then you'll see here we've got our layers. So all of our layers from XD are now here. So you can see that was my menu button that I created. And then we have our group layer, and we have a group layer. So this one is our top bar here that we have linked to the search already. So it does that for us because we've told it that's a search and everything. It's got an action. But what we need to do is select this second group layer, and you'll see the things that we have in XD, like the layers relate here. So this is my photo of the starfish, and you'll see in this right hand panel we get this little thing pops out when we select it, right? So it knows that it's going to come from the creatures log list, sorry, on our group layer, and just leave this as, put this as records. So that's what's going to tell it to bring up every record, and a record is the single line, each line of database. So for example, our database, we have 5 creatures, so we have 5 records. So it's just about, I guess, understanding that little bit of language. So on that group layer, we're going to connect it to the records because we've got to do the hierarchy. From our starfish photo, we can then tell it what to connect to. So in my database on Airtable, my column with the link to the images is called photo. So that's the one I'm going to select there. My text layer with name is going to be the name. And this is where naming stuff, Brandon, is really important, because if you leave your stuff, if you leave it as text layer 35, 69, whatever, you're not going to know what that is. So name your layers, and this is really simple. All right, location, name, photo, and that is all we need there. So I'm going to go back to our project screens, and you don't have to hit save, it does it already automatically. I'm going to go into our details page, and we're going to tell it the same collection, so creatures log. And now this is where we want to select detail, not list, because we're not displaying a list here, we're just doing the detail of one of the records.
Got it.
We're going to expand, we're going to click on the group layer and leave that as none. We're going to click on name, and we're going to set that to name. And we're missing our video. So here we go. This is what happens when you don't put something in a container. It doesn't recognize it as being there. So if I just check on my layers here. Yeah, you see how I've left these outside of a container, so it doesn't pick them up. You just need to come in. We're going to draw, actually I did that already, that's there. We just need to group them together. So we've got the area for the container, the rectangle that will be the video, and the text description. Just going to group those and just call it container. Because without that, Bravo doesn't know what it is. And this is going to be video. So all I have to do is go back to the plugin, click update, AC something. Let's try again.
Plugin development.
Okay, I'm going to save my document, close it, and reopen it. That solves a lot of things normally.
Oh, show.
Okay. Never panic, guys. It's not worth panicking over. It's all good.
I panic all the These are great words of wisdom. This is one of the words of wisdom for today. I'm a panicker, for real.
Yeah.
But in this case, Fergie is a good example, so I'm toning it down.
All right, so we've reopened that. We can just double check. Obviously, I saved it, so it's fine. And I'm just going to hit update. and you'll see it will do it now. So I knew that I
There we
needed to reopen because this has happened to me a couple of times because I'm doing a lot of things on this laptop, clearly. And I'm going to go back over here. This will all update, so we can just make sure, say it says a few seconds ago, so you literally don't have to wait on anything. And we can come and find our data. So log, detail, we leave that as none. The name is the name. Now you can see we've got this second group layer here, which is where our text and our video needs to go. So text was notes, and the video needs to be video. And that's data binding. So I am just going to, before I share with everybody, make sure this is all good. I'm so excited to share this. I'm so excited.
We're about to see the full reveal, guys.
Let's see. Okay, one thing hasn't worked, so.
And we see your question creative journey. We'll definitely get to that in a second. Thank you for passing that.
Whenever you hit an error, like I have, so basically at the moment everything works, it's beautiful. Our little octopus is dancing and it's making me so happy, but my video is not loading here. So I have to make sure that I've used the right type of layer. So, rectangle layer. You know what? I probably didn't add.
I think we used like a Lottie tag.
Let's have a look. Nope. See? Slap on the wrist.
Sequential. See this, but it's also the process, you know? It's just like through debugging, we see like, oh, we made an obvious mistake. What do we need to do? Oh, exactly. The video container. Let's drop it.
Exactly. And it really is, you know, quick and simple. We just hit update again now that we've added that tag. And then we'll go back to our dashboard. It's fine. It just needs to refresh. So now we just need to bind our things together again. So the name is still there because that didn't change, but these did change. So you see how now this shape layer has the icon of a video. That's what we were missing, because it, like I said before, it needs to be like the, what should we call it, the, like if it's an image, it needs to be an image. Like they need to match, you know, the type of graphic or element, component. I'm trying to find the, Brandon, what is the regular word we can use for this?
I don't. I was still in the process of trying to figure out what you were trying to say. So
media.
Run
media,
that.
That's the word.
There, a video. I was gonna say just a
media
video.
Type has to match.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Yeah.
The asset type, I guess. That's probably what I would have said.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. So I've now mapped that to be the video. I am just gonna quickly refresh this and double check it. I'm so excited to show you guys.
Is it ready? Shall we?
It's ready. It is so ready.
All right, cool. Let's do it. Let's check it out.
Yeah. So this is the project screen. You can see all your things. We're going to select Dive Club. No, I don't want to do an update right now. So this is our onboarding screen that we can scroll through. We can hit Get Started. Look at our little octopus. Isn't he just the cutest?
Yes.
You can see we have our list here of creatures. If I tap in our search bar, I can type shark and the shark will come up. I can click on the shark. Donut.
That's awesome.
Donut.
That's really cool. So how did it know? Because we only did one card. And I'm actually curious to know if anybody else is wondering the same thing. But from your database, it just pulled everything in. So did you only have to make one and it just takes, like if you made 20 different database things, will it make 20 off of that one card type?
Yes. So
what? Oh my God.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, just boom.
The fact that
wow. Like,
XD,
what?
the fact that we did the XD with that's why that was with just the one card. That's why I was showing you, okay, when we have multiples, using repeat grid as an example, that's what it will look like. But you only need to make one, because it knows that this one container is for one record. So if you have 5 records like we do, it's going to create 5 instances of that. If we have a log with 20, 50 creatures, then this list will be 20, 50 creatures long, and we'll be able to scroll up and down through it. And it knows, because if you kind of imagine you're counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we click on 5 like we did for the shark, it knows that that is from record or row 5. So that's how it knows to pull in all of the right bits of data.
That's insane. I was like, okay, we're gonna get our starfish on, and then all of them came in, and I was like, wait, well, hold up, how? So this is, I don't know about you guys. First off, if you're watching this, you really enjoyed it, do not forget to hit that like button first off and subscribe. But this just showed me, I expected us to have to, we had the database, and I was like, oh, we're just gonna do one card. But no, we made one instance to apply data to that it just takes care of everything for us, which is, way more powerful than I even, I thought Bravo to be. So, I think I say it for all of us when I say, like, thank you for showing us this. This is what we did in an hour and a half. We're actually, 2 minutes just over the hour and 30 minutes. And I would love to, for those of you guys in the chat, if you have questions, now's the time. Unless there's more, Fergie, unless there's more, and we want to talk about that. Where are we?
Well, no. So this was everything I had planned today. We could give it an app icon. I can show you guys how to do that real quick, and then we will have a kind of complete basic app. But yeah, I mean, let's click on the starfish since he. Oh, never mind. Yeah. So
that's crazy. I had no idea. I was like, oh, we're just focusing on one thing, and then but no, for each one of we did 2 things, and all the data's there for everything, from the starfish to the shark that we made, which is crazy.
Yeah, exactly. And just on the Lottie animations, if you were to create your own animation, and then I don't know if you can upload to Lottie files or something like that, but if you then made your own thing and put it up there, you can then just use the same .json link, or if you host it somewhere on your own storage or domain, you can use your own ones. You don't just have to use the ones from their website, as long as it's a .json URL.
Yeah, we just got a question from Vaishali. I have a question like, how do you include Lottie files or even GIFs? And I think you kind of, you just explained that. You can either use Lottie from, you simply use the JSON file from Lottie, or if you have your GIF or what have you hosted elsewhere, you just need that, the link address, and you just pop it in, and you use the correct tag from Bravo, and you make sure that that state is the loading piece, which is awesome.
So you can put a Lottie file anywhere. So if we want to, it doesn't just have to be on the loading screen. If we wanted to also have our little octopus buddy, like over here on our main screen, I don't know, there's like a little mascot down here who's always jumping around and being energetic, that's cool. We could do that as well. The important thing is you give it the right Bravo tag. Like, that's, if you take away anything, it is just use the Bravo tags, because without Bravo tags, nothing, like, it won't do anything, right? So yeah, there's the Bravo tag for Lottie files, which is just inside our little square brackets. We have component, Lottie, then the JSON URL. Or for GIFs, it would be component, GIF, and then again, a URL from Giphy, which again, you can create your own account. I have my own GIFs that come up on like my Instagram stories and stuff like that. I would just copy the link, put it in here, and I could have my own GIFs jumping about on my app. So yeah, possibilities are endless.
Yeah, and this was just a simple example. Like I didn't even expect like that's where we would end up. But that's where we did, and it was way more. Like I thought it was gonna be like, wow, we're gonna have to do this for every single card, and that wasn't the case.
No.
So we're about to see, and ladies and gentlemen, like while we're doing this last piece, because we're gonna hop into like a quick Q&A before Fergie has to roll out, and we're gonna get into the end part of our show and get into this week's challenge, our winners from last week's challenge, and how you guys can participate to win 1 free year of Adobe Creative Cloud. Stay tuned. You don't want to miss and get a head start on this week's competition as well. But go ahead and add your questions in the chat, because as soon as we get this icon in, we're going to move straight into some very quick Q&A. So just pop them in the chat real quick. We see already there's about 3-4 questions that we're going to talk or address. If there's any more, drop them in the chat.
Awesome. So yeah, I mean, this is all super basic, but I've just put a little image and just a text layer. So I've renamed the artboard as asset icon. So you can see we've just taken that from the App Store assets, and that's really it. So we can, oops. We don't need to put any Bravo tags here because the tag is on the artboard for the icon, and that's it. So I'm going to go back to plugin panel and press update one final time.
It's the final countdown. Watch this entire video get demonetized.
Ta-da! We have our little app icon.
Very nice.
You can share my phone as well if you want, and you'll see how that comes up here as well. So if that was an app installed on my phone, that's the icon it's going to look like. And yeah, I can just scroll between all of my screens. I love our little octopus friend. And here's the starfish for you, Brandon. There we go. Just having a great time there on the beach.
Perfect. Excellent.
Just like that.
Man, this is beautiful, guys. So I hope you all enjoyed all of the amazingness that Fergie has brought to the table today. We do have some questions that we have about like 4, and I don't want to be greedy with your time, because you definitely have given us quite a few a lot of things to think about. So for those of you who may have just popped in, Fergie has been really showing us the power of Adobe XD and the Bravo plugin for Adobe XD to really not only design your application in XD natively, but be able to not only put that together with the use case or with the usage of the Bravo plugin to pull in data sets and a whole bunch of other things that I'm still trying to wrap my mind around, which is why we're having a Q&A section or a session right now. If you guys have any questions about, this is a no-code platform, so you can build native applications through design and using databases to create whatever your heart desires. So we have a couple questions here, Fergie. First one is from Creative Journey. I have another question. How quick is it to run after deployment? Or if there are ways to optimize the speed of the application? I'm asking this while also Googling. Have you experienced speed? Like, I know, what is your experience with the speed of the applications, the ones that you've looked through thus far? Can you tell there's a difference from regular applications that you would normally see on the App Store?
Personally, no. The speed really is there. I don't know the detail of the optimization that they've done in the background, but it definitely exists. And obviously Bravo's been built in a way that if you're using Airtable and the things that it's kind of connected with, I'm pretty sure that's because they've optimized it to work with those things a lot quicker. Now, I can't say that on the record. That's just my assumption, which is why I've used it, because the app that I've created using Airtable compared to created my own database, my own API, and it was the most complicated 2 days of my life compared to the 10 minutes you saw me do this in.
Yes.
I would just go with what they advise, because they're giving you the guidance for a reason, because they want you to have the best experience and your users to have the best experience of your app as well that's being built through Bravo.
Yeah, and it looked like, it at first it seemed as if it would be data overload, but you showed us, hey, you only need to understand the things that you were going to have on your screens, and it very easily, after we get over there's 20 accordions, menu bar. There are your 3 tags that you need for that and the specific ways that you would like to display them. Things for your carousels. Very easy. Control F, find carousels if you need something for your video. It's very simple. Let's see. Let me grab. So UI designers asking, what about forms and send requests and more? Or can we make a messenger app? I think that's actually a good question. Like, just with what you have seen, and feel free to be like, we haven't necessarily dove into that, but I think you have seen enough of Bravo. Do you think that there is some capability there? What are your thoughts?
Oh yes, 100%. So on one of my other apps, the UX Book Club, I do actually have a form over there, and I can put it up on my screen to just show you again how simple and basic it really was. So just show this XD document. Yeah, so this was my book club app. Super simple. Like, you don't need to design so many screens. And I created a little form so that members of the book club could submit a book or recommend a book that, as a group we could read. And these, again, they're really simple. It's just a rectangle with that text box layer on top. And once you go into your dashboard and into your project, it's just about telling Bravo what you want it to do with these things. So for me, okay, a cancel button has an action tied to it, and the submit button would also be a send request from a data library. And if you want to do these things, so do you know what? I didn't even mention this at the beginning. Bravo is free, you don't have to pay for it. But if you hit a certain point in what you want it to be able to do, so you can pull all the data that you want, but if you want to start sending data, that's when you need to upgrade your plan. But you can see here they're really pretty affordable for what you want to be doing, and it gives you a lot of access to also the support team, the community. When you start upgrading, you get direct contact via email, which you don't have if you're on a free plan. But the support is there, and for such a low price, like €20, it's like, they convert this into dollars. Like what? No, I can't convert into dollars. It's maybe like
I was about to say, I was like, you have that
16?
kind of computing. I was like, I couldn't do it. You said
maybe
16?
Like $16 or something like that.
Oh, I thought.
Is it that way around? Because €19 is kind of the same as £19 in the UK. They're almost one for one.
I think you about hit it on the head. Not that I know. Don't make us be held to that answer, guys. Just Google that calculator.
Yeah, and you can see here, if you're paying for a year's plan, you just get billed once, but they're going to give you 2 months for free. Like, honestly, the team are so lovely and so nice. The product is amazing. So yeah, knowing that it's a great product built by amazing people. If you have questions, I'm sure they have a feedback form you could fill out and send them anything you needed to as well. But
got it. All right, we're gonna do 2 more questions, and then we're gonna sign off, and we're gonna let Fergie enjoy the rest of her evening. All right, so question number 2: is it possible? I think the simple answer is yes, but I'm gonna let you answer. Is it possible to integrate a timer or counter in Bravo? That seems like the most simple of simple things, just off of what you've shown us here today. It's probably very, very easy.
I would say possibly. It's not something that I have used personally, but again, if you just go through tags, look at some of the documentation, you'd find out really quickly what you can and can't do. And if you can't do it now, it doesn't mean that you can never do it. Like I said, the Bravo team are always working on updates with new features, new tags, new components. So if it's not there right now, I'm sure if you just let them know, hey, I was kind of looking for this, maybe it'll go into their backlog or something if it's not already there. But just have a look, play around with it. Like I said, there's so much there. You've all seen how large that tag list is. Just takes a little bit of reading to see how you could work your way through it.
All right, perfect. And last question, I actually might ask you guys, because this is a good question, but we've talked about this about a couple times in this live stream, and I don't want to tax Fergie any longer. I want to respect her time, but also we've answered this a couple of times. Vi Shali is asking, I want to know how exactly to get the Lottie files into XD. How can we use them? Can we show one more sample? I'm going to leave that up to you.
Yeah, I can show you again exactly how we did that. So I'm just going to put in an artboard here, and it would be one of my screens, for example. I am going to go over to lottiefiles.com. That's just where I source mine from. And you know what? This one's kind of funny. Let's use this little raccoon over here. He's gone scuba diving. All we have to do is, or the way I do this, is I download the GIF, just so that when I'm looking at my artboards, I know where exactly this is going. I'm going to copy this Lottie animation URL. This is the really, really important .json URL that you need. And let me do this from my other screen. I'm just going to drag and drop that GIF I just downloaded onto my artboard. Now obviously, because it's XD, GIFs are not currently recognized, but it will just put it in as a flat static image, and that is totally fine. And we come over to our layers panel, and we're just going to rename it. So I've got my square brackets, I do component, colon, Lottie, colon, and then I'm going to paste that .json URL, and that's literally it. That will now be a Lottie animation within your application.
Perfect. So we're just taking the Lottie file, we're downloading the GIF as just a reminder to put in our XD file, but really we're taking that JSON code and literally pairing it with the correct tag from Bravo and putting that in the rectangle that we input in XD.
Correct.
All right, so it's that simple. If we did this a couple of times throughout the stream, we're also going to tag it at the end of this stream so you guys know which section is for what. So with that said, Fergie, I thank you a million times for coming on today and showing everybody how powerful the Bravo Studio plugin is. And what would you like to leave the audience today? Where can we find you, and anything else you would love to leave this beautiful audience?
Sure. Well, firstly, Brandon, thank you so much for having me. It's always such a blast. I really hope that everybody has found this really useful. If you have any more questions, feel free to reach out to me on social media. I'm on pretty much every platform going. You can find me on Instagram at fergie.design, or you could message me over Behance, or leave a comment on a YouTube video. I do have a few videos where I've kind of gone through Bravo. There will also be more coming soon, so look out for that. Be sure to go subscribe to my YouTube, follow me on Instagram, and connect with me and ask questions on whichever platforms you're on, because I'm on all of them. So yeah, don't be scared. Go and build your app, and honestly, within a few days you'll get the hang of it and be really proud of yourselves because it's within reach.
Definitely. Well, thank you so much, Fergie. Ladies and gentlemen, check out Fergie's platforms down below. Her links are within reach in the description. Thank you again, Fergie, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye. All right, guys, you heard it first. Listen, definitely check out the Bravo app. Link is down in the description if you haven't already Googled it. And we're so excited for next week session. And the guest is secret. We'll let you guys know in our Discord who our next guest is. Again, we're going to be, if you just came at the tail end of this session, this will be here, stayed nicely and recorded for you guys to definitely just scrub through and learn. But we're also going to be condensing this into a 7 to 10 minute tutorial for you guys to get the gist of what happened today. So with that said, don't forget to like this video and subscribe. And now for the best part, for those of you guys who have been waiting for the challenge winners, we had a challenge last week during Igor's, during Igor's session, and the challenge was to create whether that be a website based on the tactics and really just skills that he taught us during the live stream. So with that said, we had some amazing submissions in our Discord, but the very first 3 winners of this week. First off, we had Lorena in first place with this amazing Spider-Man animation. It was absolutely tremendous. Miles Morales, she used Igor taught us how to use fake video in Adobe XD by using JPEGs, or really a JPEG sequence, and they did a really excellent job in doing this. They not only did one screen, they did multiple. And what I was really fascinated by, not just the who is Miles Morales, but even the comic piece here, where they have the opening and the closing of the comic, it was insane. So definitely shout out to them, and congratulations on first place. Second, and fireworks for you. All right, second place, we had Pedro Pires. Again, a very amazing gaming platform. He utilized the 3D transform and even some glass morphism in his particular project here. I love the 3D transform and even how he has the scaling characters here that Igor also did in his project. So beautiful job. Second place. Beautiful. Delicious. And last but not least, we had third place, we had Crunchy Air. Did a Persona 5 submission. And I thought it was excellent how they used the JPEG sequencer in Adobe XD in that first part. It was really amazing. So congratulations to first, second, and third place winners. I'm excited to start this week with a new challenge and the beginning of prizes for those who compete. So I hope you guys take initiative on this challenge. So this week's challenge is creating a future-themed mobile app design. The best animation wins. The reason why we're doing mobile app design is because we have just been so inspired by dear Miss Fergie and what she brought to the table today. We want to see what you guys have. Future plus mobile app and the best animation wins. How you can compete is joining our Discord, link down in the description. We'll be adding how to submit your work and really the rules and things of that nature, what to expect. But the first place winner will be winning 1 free year of Adobe Creative Cloud. So we expect amazing things from the competition. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, again, big thanks to Adobe XD for sponsoring this production, and we can't wait to see you next week with a new amazing guest. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And I just want to thank Excellence, Soral, UI designer Fergie. More importantly, she's an amazing individual designer and just full of knowledge. And we'll see you on the next one. Take care, guys. Bye. Ask yourself internally, Brandon, does a place like this exist? And my answer to you would be Of course, motherfucker, that's exactly what we are doing in our Discord. We are the Game Changer. We are a group of designers, artists, creatives that want to take our skill sets, talents, and dreams to the next level. We come together to give feedback on each other's work, give resources, and laugh. A lot of it. And help push each other to be our best selves. If you're interested in becoming the next best you and quite possibly yourself while chatting with many friends, join your new design family today. See you there.